July 16, 2019. Delhi, Mumbai. 161 people on board. By the time this aircraft finally stopped rolling in Lucknow, it had exactly 260 kilograms of fuel left in its tanks. That is less fuel than a small Cessna 172 carries for a weekend joyride, 4 minutes. Maybe 5 if the wind had been kind. This is the full, unfiltered story of how a brand new Airbus, 2 young pilots, and the Indian monsoon came within a whisper of writing one of the darkest chapters in modern Indian aviation. Let's meet the players. Registration, VTTNV. An Airbus A320-251N, the Neo version with sharklets and the ultra-efficient LEAP engines, delivered to Vistara in January 2019. Barely 6 months old. Still smelling like a new car inside. Flight UK944, scheduled Delhi Indira Gandhi International to Mumbai Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International, departure gate, T34, Terminal 3, Captain, Anshuman Bhaumik, age 30. 5,500 total hours, 1,200 on type, First Officer, Animesh Nag, age 28. 1,800 total hours, 900 on the Neo, cabin crew, 5 young men and women, led by a senior purser named Ria, passengers, 154 souls. Businessmen, families returning from vacations, a cricket team coming back from a tournament in Gurgaon, and one off-duty Vistara pilot deadheading home. Fuel, the most expensive liquid on Earth. In 2019, aviation turbine fuel in India hovered between 68 Indian rupees 000 and 73,000 Indian rupees per kiloliter. For a domestic A320 flight, fuel was 35 to 42% of the direct operating cost. That is why fuel planning is treated almost like a religion. Every single kilo is argued over in windowless rooms by dispatchers who have never flown the aircraft. The fuel policy at Vistara in mid-2019 was based on the standard ICAO template but with one very Indian twist, aggressive optimization. The flight plan for UK944 showed, trip fuel Delhi, Mumbai, 8,800 kilograms, contingency, 5%. Of trip 440 kilograms, alternate fuel to Lucknow, 3,800 kilograms, final reserve, 30 minutes at 1,500 feet 1,900 kilograms, taxi fuel, 260 kilograms. Captain's discretionary, 400 kilograms, the captain actually added this himself, we'll come back to that, total uplifted, 16,100 kilograms exactly. Why Lucknow and not Jaipur or Ahmedabad? Because Jaipur and Ahmedabad were classified as suitable alternates, meaning they required full alternate fuel plus extra contingency. Lucknow was classified as acceptable for the Neo because of its longer runway and better nav aids, so the company policy allowed a reduced alternate fuel calculation, net saving. 380 kilograms, at 70 Indian rupees per kilogram, that's 26,600 Indian rupees saved on one flight, multiply by 30 flights a day, and you're looking at real money. On paper, it was legal, safe, and smart, in the monsoon. It was a gamble. The 1,800 hours TAF for Delhi read, in part, Tempo 1621/1624 5000, TSRA FU 018 CBSCT 020 BKN 090, translation. Temporary thunderstorms after 2,100 hours local, visibility staying above 5 kilometers, the 12 o'clock signals were quiet. So the dispatcher signed the fuel sheet with a smile, but the monsoon doesn't read TAFs. By 1900 hours, the India Meteorological Department's Doppler radar at Palam was already painting a solid line of purple and black moving in from Haryana, embedded cumulonimbus tops. To 55,000 feet, outflow boundaries racing ahead at 40 knots, the storm arrived 2 full hours early, 1925, engine start, 1937, lined up runway 29, cleared for takeoff, rotate at 152 knots. Positive climb, gear up. The aircraft climbs into a sky that looks deceptively calm from the cabin windows. At 2015 they level at FL 360 over Jaipur, 1 hour 10 minutes from Mumbai. The seatbelt sign goes off. Meal service begins. Nobody on board has any idea that the flight will never see Mumbai that night. 2040 local, Delhi approach, Vistara 944, due to weather, expect holding at Parzo, FL 250. Parzo is the standard hold southeast of Delhi. UK 944 is number 12 in the stack. Each full orbit is 4 minutes and burns roughly 220 to 240 kilograms depending on weight and wind. The crew start doing mental math. They have about 7,400 kilograms on board at this point. Every 15 minutes in the hold costs them 1 ton. At 21:15 they are still number 8 for approach. The fuel totalizer now reads 5,900 kilograms. The first quiet nod of worry appears in the cockpit. 21:32, finally cleared for the ILS-29. They descend through solid IMC. Moderate turbulence, rain so heavy the wipers can't keep up. At 1,000 foot AGL the runway lights are invisible. At 400 feet they break out into a curtain of water and strobes flashing. Through cloud, the captain disconnects the autopilot, tries to line up visually. At 120 feet the poppy turns 4 red, decision height 200 feet comes and goes, go around. Flaps 3, toga power. Positive rate, gear up, back to 6,000 feet and into the hold again. Fuel now 4,600 kilograms. 21:48, second attempt, this time the wind check on short final. 210 degrees at 18 knots gusting 26. The A320neo has a certified tailwind limit of 10 knots for landing, 15 knots in some company SOPs with captain's approval. The captain takes the landing himself. At 500 feet the aircraft is being kicked left and right by wind shear alerts. At 200 feet the tailwind component is still 14 knots, another go around. Fuel remaining, 4,100 kilograms. That's when the first officer says the sentence no pilot ever wants to say, Captain, we're not going to get into Delhi tonight. Options on the table, 1, Lucknow, 494 kilometers. Forecast clear, but a long way, 2. Indore, 450 kilometers, but SIGMET active for severe turbulence en route, 3. Jaipur, 220 kilometers, but runway 27 has standing water reported and RVR fluctuating, 4. Prayagraj, only 380 kilometers, but no night parking, limited fuel, and a reputation for fog. They choose Lucknow, 21:58, Delhi approach, Vistara 944, declaring minimum fuel, request direct Lucknow, priority. Minimum fuel is not an emergency in ICAO terminology, but it means, we cannot accept any further delay or additional holding. ATC clears them immediately out of the stack, direct to Lucknow, climb FL 280 for terrain. They push the cost index to 0, maximum speed, Mach 0.78, 300 knots indicated below 10,000 feet, but the monsoon has other plans. Halfway there, the weather radar shows a 120-mile wide line of red cells blocking the direct track. They deviate 60 nanometers south, then 80 nanometers north. Every mile off track is extra fuel. At one point the first officer quietly calculates, at current burn rate, they will arrive over Lucknow with 1,800 kilograms, that's 26 minutes. The A320 final reserve is 1,900 kilograms. They are already planning for a Mayday, 2238, 120 nanometers from Lucknow, fuel, 2,700 kilograms, ATIS, wind 270/08, visibility 6 kilometers, few CB at 3,000 feet, RVR all runways 2,000 m, for the first time in hours. The crew exhale, then, 60 nanometers out, a new cell explodes directly over the airfield. Within 15 minutes the river on runway 27 drops from 2000 m to 650 m to 475 m. 475 meters is the absolute cat-eye minimum for the A320 with the cruise qualifications. Below that, mandatory missed approach. 2256. Established on the ILS runway 27 Lucknow, altitude 3,000 feet, speed 210 kts, flaps 2, the rain is biblical, lightning illuminates the cockpit every few seconds, at 1,000 feet, LOC star, glide slope. Star, both armed and captured. At 800 feet the autopilot starts chasing the glide slope in the turbulence. At 500 feet the wipers are on maximum, but visibility is measured in tens of meters. Runway lights appear at 300 feet. Then vanish again. At 200 feet, decision height, the captain calls continuing. Allowed under Indian rules if visual reference is re-established. At 100 feet the aircraft is slammed by a 20-knot shear. The captain handflies the last 50 feet, touchdown 23:17 local time, reverse thrust, maximum auto brake. The aircraft stops with 1,200 m of runway remaining. Fuel quantity on ICAS, 260 kilograms. Passengers disembark completely unaware. Most think it was just a normal diversion. One passenger later wrote on TripAdvisor, "Slight delay due to weather, crew very polite, 4/5." Stars. The aircraft is towed to a remote bay. Engineers find water in both engine fan blades and minor pitting from hail. The plane is grounded for 52 hours. The DGCA classified it as a serious incident, AN 178/2019. Key findings, paraphrased from the redacted report. 1. Flight planning was in accordance with company fuel policy, but the policy itself contained systemic weaknesses during monsoon season. 2. The use of a distant alternate to save fuel, while legal, significantly reduced safety margins. 3. The crew's declaration of minimum fuel instead of an earlier Mayday fuel delayed absolute priority handling. 4. No blame attributed to the pilots, in fact, praised for exemplary CRM and decision-making under extreme stress. 5. Recommendation: mandatory additional monsoon contingency fuel of 600 to 1,000 kilograms for flights with alternates greater than 400 kilometers. Captain Baumick didn't fly for 9 days afterward. He told a close friend, "I aged 10 years in 10 minutes." First Officer Nag developed insomnia that lasted months. Both underwent mandatory counseling, the cabin crew. Most never knew how close it was until years later. Within 60 days, Vistara revised its entire fuel policy. DGCA Circular July 2019 mandated higher monsoon buffers. The phrase Mayday fuel training became compulsory nationwide. Many carriers quietly started uplanding 800 to 1,000 kilogram safety padding that isn't even in the official tables. VTTNV still flies daily as AI-944 under the new Air India livery. Captain Anshuman Baumick is now a Boeing 787 training captain. First Officer Animesh Nag is one of Air India's youngest wide-body captains, the dispatcher who signed the fuel sheet. Promoted 2 years later, yes, really, India is now the third largest aviation market on Earth. Growth is explosive. Low-cost carriers are pushing margins thinner than ever. Fuel prices are again sky-high. Every year during monsoon, the same debates happen in dispatch offices. And every year, some senior captain tells the story of the night we landed with 260 kilos to remind the new generation, paper safety and real safety are not always the same thing. Advance because nothing ever goes wrong. It advances because sometimes things go terrifyingly close to wrong. And we learn. On July 16, 2019, the system bent until it almost snapped. 161 people went home to their families. And the industry quietly made itself a little bit safer. If this story shook you even a little, do 3 things. Hit the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more people. subscribe and ring the bell. I release a new deep dive every single day. Comment below. Have you ever been on a flight that diverted or declared emergency fuel? I read every single one. Until the next one, stay safe up there.